A good friend brought me his 12-inch DeWalt miter saw and asked me to calibrate it because you can see there it's pretty much off. So lock it in the down position, use a machinist square to line up everything. The key with this are there are 4 screws in the detent plate in the front. You just loosen those and then tap the front of the miter saw. You can see it moving over there. And once you have it locked in place and lined up, now I'm just going to tighten the detent screws to lock it in place, unlock the miter lock, and check my cut. And you can see that it's all lined up perfectly. I did tell my friend that he needs to get a new blade for this. To check for 90 here, obviously I'm using a digital angle gauge, loosen it up. The bolt I'm adjusting is the miter stop, so it actually keeps it from going too far. So once you just adjust that a few times, I moved it back and forth, and then boom, I got on 90.
A digital angle gauge is not a level. Whenever you put it on something, you have to first put it down and then zero it out so that it's flat. Then you put it on something to find the angle. Now, if I wanted to, I could zero this here and make that be 0 and find out this angle. It is not a level.
I love my Bosch miter saw, but the dust collection is terrible, partly because of the distance between the blade and the dust chute. So Chris over at Benchtop Woodworks came up with this design. He's got it for a couple different machines. Basically, he 3D printed a new dust chute with a hose. It attaches to the machine using parts from the machine. It's pretty easy assembly. You can either buy it and 3D print yourself or buy the parts. It's solid. Wait until you see this dust collection. It's amazing. There's nothing else coming out around it. This has really cleaned up my miter saw area and is really worth the money. I want to show my dust collection for my miter saw. You see how I hook it up in the front? Now there's a hose connecting everything. There's that orange piece from Benchtop Woodworks that actually acts as a really good suction. It plugs into another port that I put back in the back, and you can see that underneath is another hose. It's a 4-inch hose that goes to the front. This is just an easy way to have good dust collection with no hose issues. And this is just me using the saw to cut some dados and cut an area out. What's nice is it's, first of all, obviously easy. Secondly, you need to have a little spacer behind it to push it out. You can see how easily it goes down and cuts everything. There's a spacer on the side that you set for the depth. And then once you're done, you just clean it out and you have a nice looking area. So, yep, that's nice. Just showing it to you. Potato chips. Obviously, this next step is dangerous, so just be careful doing this. You have to be very cautious, but it's an easy way to clean it up because you're already at that depth. One of my friends at work knows how much I like making things, so they asked me for a way to cut off the corner of this piece. He wants to make periscopes with his class. So here's the jig I came up with. The PVC pipe fits over one end, and then you put the front piece in to hold it all in place. Pull down on the miter saw, obviously, and then you can cut that corner off. Once you get that corner cut all the way through, then you take that front piece off again, and you're ready to go and do it again. He's got 70 of these to cut. I want to try and show how accurate this machine is. 4 cuts. First cut, straight across the line. I know it's difficult to see, but it is straight across there. This next cut, I'm putting pressure on the right side and pushing it across. What's nice is that as I do this, it actually cuts the same distance across. So while it pushes across, it stays straight. With these last 2 cuts, I'm attempting to show that as you sneak up on the size and the cut you need, there's no deflection on the last cuts. Let's look at deflection across a distance. I drew a line 1 inch from the end here. You can see the line and you can see the cut. This is 13 inches, so it's just over capacity for the saw. So I flipped it over and cut that last little bit, and you can see how accurate it was while sliding.